Turn it off. Turn it off. Turn it off. All right. What's up? It's Writer Radio. It's episode 182? That's pretty good. I have a zillion things written down and no guests. So it's just going to be you and me. Or me, I guess. I mean, you are a part of it. I mean, like a major part of it. The more of you, the better. But you're not gonna help me get to noon today. So it's just me. Things written down: NFL standings, Grace 2, Mike Tirico, For Those About to Rock, Car Repair, Mark Sanchez. That's the show. I mean, you got it. You can leave now if you want. But there's a lot in there. I don't know what I want to start with. Let's start with car repair. So we have two vehicles. I'm married to a woman, and we have two vehicles between us. And in a very, I don't know, annoying way, the guy, me, drives a truck. I'm so tough. I drive a truck. Not really. It helps me carry things around. I'm not a truck guy, but I have a truck because it helps. And then we have a van, not a van, a smaller van. What would you call a smaller van? You would call it like a miniature van. So we have a miniature van. Mini. Let's cut that word off. We have a mini van. So that's what we do. We have a truck because I'm tough and I drive a truck. Not really. Then we have a van, but it's not a van. It's a mini van. It's like a smaller van. We have 3 kids, dude. We drive people around all the time. That's what we do. We drive people around with baseball equipment. The worst part about having 2 vehicles is having to like move. Oh no, all the equipment is in this car. So let's move it to that car. And by car, I mean van and truck. No, when I say car, I'm lying to you. We don't own a car. We own a van and a truck. Yeah, because I got a truck, man. I got a truck. I'm so tough. It just helps me carry sheets of plywood, sheets of drywall, and baseball equipment. Like, that's what we do. And I don't remember the point of this. I don't know why I started getting it into trucks and cars. All right, look at this. Car repair. Oh, there we go. All right, so my wife is afraid. She's very small. I'm 6'3". She's 5'0". And I'm pretty sure that maybe she has moved my truck in from the street on like when the parking ban is going on in the winter. Maybe she's done that, but I would guess no. She's afraid of the truck. She's very small. She doesn't like riding in the van, in the truck. Like we'll go somewhere. It's like we're going to Darien Lake. Hey, let's go. Woo! Party at Darien Lake. And when I suggest that I'm driving, so let's just take the truck, she doesn't like it. She's little. And it's all about the 1 second she has to spend trying to get into the truck. And it's not pretty. I concede that it sucks for her that she has to get in there. But once she's in there, like, what's the difference? Who cares? Just get in. I don't like getting into airplanes. But once I'm in, it's fine. So she doesn't like to get into the truck. overall point is the van is in for repair right now. So we have one vehicle, but it's a vehicle she's afraid to drive. The van is in the shop. I don't trust the shop at all. I'm going to avoid using like names of places. But I think most of what has happened over the last like 48 hours with our vehicle is straight and utter bullshit. Like it's bad. This is tough because I didn't want to. I never want to emasculate her and tell her she's doing it wrong because I don't want her to feel like I feel all the time because everything I do wrong. You know, if you're married, you know what I'm talking about. This is not like a crazy thing to say, but the van was making a couple of noises. All right. So, you know, I've never heard them or had never heard them. I did, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, hear a noise. I was in the driveway, like doing some repair on a bike or something, which I suck at so bad. We talked about that yesterday. Listen to episode 181 to hear about my terrible experience as a bike repair guy. I'm in the driveway, and at one point doing that, she pulled in. She had told me it makes this noise when I turn left, and I have not heard the noise, but I heard it. Like, oh yeah, that sucks. I had headphones. I was listening to, I don't know, a podcast, Adam Carolla, probably, and even with those in, sitting in the driveway, I heard the noise. So, okay, it exists. She's not making it up. Of course she's not. She's a good person. Why would she lie to me? She wouldn't. So she makes an appointment to get the problems fixed. Now, here's the situation. We have a month, I think, to get to inspection. I think it expires in November. So the real situation was take the car in, van. It's the van. I guess I can tell you everything, right? It's a 2016 Honda Odyssey that we've had since then. It's up to only 84,000 miles, which is, I think, is pretty good. But it for sure needs some work. Like, for sure, it's not perfect. The brakes aren't great. You know, all this. I don't know. I don't speak the language of the auto industry. But for sure, it needs some work. So she is like, oh, it made this noise when I turned left, which I heard. Oh, I was saying that. I don't know if I finished that thought. I was saying that. I was in the driveway working on something, and she pulled with headphones in, listening to a podcast. And she pulled in, and I heard a noise. And she got out of the car. I was like, or the van. And I was like, is that the noise that you were talking about that I haven't heard? She's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, I heard it while I was listening to something. So there's something. There are things that are incorrect. But the bottom line is we take the van in for correction. Like, just what's up, fix it. We take it in yesterday. When they eventually, I want to say call, but this will ruin, if I want to talk about this later, I'm going to talk about how much garbage it is the way that they do it. So I have to, the easy way to tell the story is to say, and then when they called, no, they didn't friggin' call. We had to call. It was going to be fixed by 2:00. They didn't call even by 2:00. Then they didn't call by 4:00. So then we called them. It was like, oh yeah, $3,700. $3,700 to take care of the van that we drive. That's fine. That we've been driving the whole time. It was fine. It didn't cost any money to drive it yesterday in the morning. But now it costs. There is zero chance that those people are being honest with us. No chance. None. Zero. And she's like, hey, watch this video. They sent a video. There were... They said it passed 24 tests, but these 10, it didn't pass. And here's a video of how they didn't... I don't know what I'm trying to do right now with the show. I do know that, like, part of me is wanting to do an entire show / podcast about scams. That's a goddamn scam. A 5-foot little brunette walks in and says, my van makes noises. And they're like, okay, $3,700. They made that up. For sure. For sure. They made that up. Now, they made up that number. I know that there are problems. I know that there are things that need to be fixed with the van. But there's no chance that this is completely legitimate. Here are the problems and we will fix them. There's zero chance of that. It's a scam for sure. But what do you do? What do you do? What are you supposed to do when you're like, my van isn't working correctly and it's making these noises? And they're like, oh, I'll solve that for $4,000. So I've made bad life choices in that I don't have just a mechanic, or that I'm not a mechanic. I should just be a mechanic. I could be a mechanic and a host of a podcast. I'd be doing great. I'd be the honest mechanic, though. So you think about just a mechanic, a car mechanic. I don't trust him at all. But now, car mechanic plus corporate bull. It's the worst. So the choices, it's never, ever, ever convenient to have your car gone for 2-3 days. It's never convenient. My intention yesterday, I went and looked. Because I hated all of it. She dealt with it. I did not. I went to the place where the car is to find out because we needed it. I already drove her somewhere this morning. I'm going to go pick her up somewhere this afternoon. Right after the show ends, I'm going to go pick her up because the car is over there. And they had 10 things they needed to fix. We needed one thing fixed. I don't know if this is good for anyone, though, like what I'm talking about right now, but it's good for me. I don't know if it's good for anyone else, I should have said. We declined most of the things that they offered. Like, no, just fix what I asked you for, assholes. Like that just do what I said. Do what I said. I wouldn't have come to you if not for this problem and that problem. Fix the problems. Shut up about your ideas about what else you can do to take money out of my bank account. Please stop it. So that's where I am today. I'm in an empty house. My wife's not. She mostly works from home, but has to go to various hospitals and things sometimes. And today was a day she had to go. She's like, I gotta go to this one, and there's a meeting here, and then I gotta go to that one. So it's mostly solved. There was some thought that I might have had to not do the show today, or pre-record or whatever. But we solved that. We got it all fixed. I dropped her off somewhere at 8:30. I'll pick her up somewhere at 1:30. We're good. I lost my point. But the overall point is I want you to understand the craziness and BS that I deal with on a daily basis, because I think you do too. We just, you don't have a show to talk about it on. The fact that, like, 1 out of 10 times when you turn left, your van makes a noise like this, does not necessitate the van being confiscated and held for ransom for $3,700. It just doesn't. I mean, how do we stop this? How do we stop blatant robbery? That's what that is. They sent a video too. Like, and there's like a guy under a truck or under the van. Well, this is a little rusted, and this is you gotta fix this. I fix it, dude. There was one where he's like, this thing is a little, what was the word? Oh, my God. If I thought of the exact thing he said, you'd understand, and now I'm not going to think of it. The bottom line was, like, this ball joint looks a little tight. What does that mean? So spray it. Spray it with something. You're under the van. Spray it. Don't tell me this looks tight, therefore we need this part you never heard of. I don't know. How about clean the rust off? How about do that? I think it's insane. I think it's absolutely crazy, and we are going to pay. We're not paying $3,700, but we're going to pay half of that or something to get the van back to, I don't know, it was fine anyway. Do you just have to know somebody at all times in every walk of life? Because I feel robbed. I lost my mind because she's been trying to deal with this thing, and she did. And then it gets to the part where she has to tell me what's going on. And then she's like a little embarrassed that she's doing it herself and she is getting robbed. And I had to have a whole conversation where I'm like, look, I'm protecting you. I'm protecting us. I'm protecting our bank accounts. Like, what? What are you talking about? The van is fine. You took it in because it made a noise. And now they want nearly $4,000. I'm like, no, that's not okay. It's not okay. And they wouldn't do that to me. They only do that to you because you're a pretty girl. Like, ooh, look how cute she is. She must be stupid. No. But I don't know. That's I don't like the tricks. I don't like the tricks that go on. I don't want to have to fight every fight. But I will not allow you to rob us. I wanted this is so stupid. The car was supposed to be fixed by 2 p.m. yesterday. It was not. If they didn't have it fixed by 2 p.m., they were going to call by 2 p.m. They did not. So she had to call. Then it was 2 calls. It was a call. I don't remember what happened. There were 2 calls, but it was 2 different calls. And then eventually, like, oh yeah, here's the estimate. Here are all the things. We'll just text it to you. And it didn't go through. And then she had to call again because it had been an hour. Call again. Here's the text. Here's the estimate. Didn't go through. Estimate finally came through when she switched it to email at 5:55 p.m. They're closing at 6. Would you like to pretend that that is not on purpose? That we're sending you all this crap. You have to decide. We're holding your van hostage. It's here. You have no ride anywhere tomorrow. Sorry. F you, buddy. It's all sitting there. And we're going to keep the truck, or the van, excuse me. We'll fix it tomorrow, I think, once you approve stuff. That we only sent you at 5:55 when you can't call back and ask any questions. There's no possibility of asking a question. So I took a ride there last night before it got dark to see, can we just take the van? Because it would be a much easier day for us. If you can't fix it right now like you claimed you could yesterday, can I have my van back? Jerks? Can I do that? So I went and looked. See if it was like locked up somewhere. It's not even just not locked up. It's in the back with it's open. You don't need a key. Just get in. You're fine. Take whatever you want out of my van sitting at the car dealer. Like, go ahead. Go ahead. Help yourself. I live in a nice neighborhood where car theft has been a problem. So it's like a big thing. Leave nothing in your car, lock your car, it'll be fine. And that's mostly true. I've had 2 neighbors have their cars stolen recently, but both of them were stupid and left their keys in it or the fob or whatever. Like, if you just lock it, it's opportunity. Like, the people that are stealing cars are doing it because it's easy. So don't be easy and you're fine. The dealership that has our van has no awareness of that at all. It's just open. So I went and looked because this was right around, I don't know, 7 o'clock. I went out there to see if it was available. Because to me, the thought was, all right, you want to charge us $1 zillion to fix 4 things when nothing's really wrong with the van. You could do that later in the week, not right now when we need it. So, wife and I disagreed on when the most convenient time to have the car missing was good. But I went to check. Like, all right, we've got this option. If we would like, we can get the van back. And it was hyper available. Like, it not only was it not locked anywhere, it's not in a garage, it's sitting in a parking lot unlocked. So, we do what we can to try to make it cool, try to prevent crime. These people don't at all. I'm not positive how I want to finish this whole thing. You can probably tell. I'm just pissed at the fact that we can be held hostage in this situation. We, and when I say we, I mean all of you, all of us, but I mostly am talking about me and my wife. We can be held hostage because we don't know the answers. We don't know what we're talking about. Oh, you need to scrape the ball joint and replace the extender arm or whatever. I don't know what they're saying. No one knows what they're saying. What a friggin' ripoff, though. The whole industry, the world is designed to steal money from you, and it sucks. And this, like, if you don't have any knowledge of what's going on in the thing, what are you going to say? What are you going to say to an email that has, a 24-point inspection that we didn't ask for? And you have these 11 problems. What do you even say? What do you do? I don't want this to prevent car dealerships and repair shops from becoming unavailable as sponsors for Righty Radio. I don't want that to happen. But I will say, Jesus Christ, this is garbage. That they can just take the van that works. We drove it there. It was fine. Oh, it didn't make the noise. It was fine. What we wanted was a person to go, oh, yeah, let me see what's going on here. But what we got was, oh, a victim has arrived at the dealership. So, would you like your van back? Yeah, that'll be $3,700. Also, and this is terrible, the first phone call that she received, after dropping the thing off to get looked at because it's making a noise. The first phone call she got, first text message she got was, we'll buy your van. What do you think they offered for this is no prize vehicle here. It's a 2016 Honda Odyssey minivan with like bare bones, just nothing. We needed a van because, oh my God, we're having another kid. So we bought a van. $2016 Honda Odyssey. Think of if you wanted to buy one. If you wanted to buy a minivan, 2016 with 84,000 miles on it. It's just a van. It's not great. It's not bad. It's fine. It gets a ton of people and a ton of baseball equipment everywhere all the time. It works every time. What would you expect to pay for that? Now, what would you expect to get for that when the dealership wants to buy it? We have to solve this problem. This is a massive problem. All right. So this is fun. I like playing trivia games where there's no real answers. Let me just wait a second and I just tell you. So, all right, what would you expect that thing to cost you at a dealership? Bad news. Don't have an answer for that. What would you expect them to offer you to buy this thing? So they've already offered to fix it for nearly $4,000. What do you think they offered to buy it? It was a full-on, perfectly functioning, decent shape, couple of scrapes on it because it's, we've had it for 10 years or something. What would you expect to be offered for that? The answer is $7,200. If you tried to buy it anywhere in the world, it's $25,000. Best case, it's $22,000. So they're like, oh, we'll just take it off your hands if you want, for, almost, well, not even, for 72 grand. $7,200. You want to buy a new one that is also used that looks exactly like yours, that'll be $26,000. But we'll take yours for $7,200. F you dealers. F you car repair people. Absolute garbage. All of it. I'm a little frustrated. And it's not just because I had to drive my wife to work and I have to go pick her up from work. It's not that. It's that our vehicle is being held hostage and the system that we're using to deal with cars and car repairs is garbage. And I'm going to play a song, and I'm sorry. This portion of Writer Radio has been deleted for the podcast version. If you want to hear everything that happens, listen live weekdays 10 to noon at writerradio.com. You want to know what's awesome? Having an idea and then making it happen while Tool is playing Chocolate Chip Trip for 4 minutes and 48 seconds. It's like, you know what? The next segment, I'm just going to do like an general NFL thing because I've got stuff to say. And I was like, it'd be better if I had a guest with me. So I call Chris Trapasso. He's like, yeah, let's do it right now. So Chris Trapasso, my man, how do I plug you now? What are you up to? Where are you?
I'm still in the works looking for a new writing gig, but this is going to sound crazy. You can just say, or I guess I can say it, go on TikTok and follow, or YouTube, and follow the film breakdowns that I've been doing for the entire NFL, which is actually a perfect segue to, I think, what you want to talk about in this segment.
Okay, so just look for Chris Trapasso on YouTube?
On TikTok and YouTube, yep. I'm just doing quick little 1 to 2 minute videos. Best players in the league, things that have happened inside a comeback, what offensive line isn't blocking well. I'm trying to just cover the entire league, showing film, and then doing a voiceover.
You're the best. You're the best, dude. Chris, I'm going to talk about you as if you're not here for a second, and then we'll just talk like we're friends. But Chris Trapasso is unbelievably locked into everything. Like the best dude. I don't even remember how I met you or how we got started in having conversations like this, but I was selling T-shirts and talking to you on a podcast. Like it's 10 years or more, 15. I don't even know how long it's been going on, and then I'm like, oh, this guy's good. So we had him on all the time. And then he was working for CBS, and then CBS was stupid like every other friggin' media outlet. and doesn't keep him around. But this is a good NFL reporter, and just a good person, and like, he's awesome. Good for you, man. I appreciate.
Oh, very nice of you, Brad. Thanks for saying
Yeah,
all
well,
that.
of course, man. All right, so here's what I'm gonna read what I had written down. It was I don't know, let's say 11 o'clock last night that I wrote this down. Um, oh, I don't have it written. All right, I'll just say what I thought I would write down, but I guess I didn't. Uh, NFL standing. Oh, it's here for sure. There it is. NFL standings look so much worse, is what I wrote down. And it was when it was when the Chiefs were going to be 3-2, and then they were not. But I guess my overall thing that I want to talk about is, dude, it's fine. This is what the league looks like now. This is what the Bills look like now. There's no possible chance to look at the NFL and not, like, if you're going to have a conversation about what's going to happen the rest of the year, you cannot possibly have it without mentioning the Bills. And so they're in that, and they lost a game. They've been in some tight games that they've won. They were in a tight game that they lost. When it all shakes out, they're at the top. And now, like, I have to think about Jacksonville instead of Kansas City or something. But bottom line, like, what's your overall take? This is the most, like, generic question that's ever been asked to you. But, like, what's your overall take on the NFL right now and the Bills and their place in it?
My overall take, which I think everything that you said is spot on. My overall take is I think a big reason, and at times we lose sight of this, a big reason why the NFL is so insanely popular, and it's, every game is the most watched TV program in this country, is because of the parity. We have one team that is 0-5. That's the New York Jets. The Ravens are 1-4. We have a ton of teams that have 2 wins, a ton of teams that have 3 wins. And in the AFC, the other teams that are 4-1 besides the Bills are the Jaguars and the Colts. So I think it is very easy when you are a diehard Bills fan. You watch every single snap, every play. You know all the players. You know the draft picks. You know the free agent acquisitions. To hyper focus on the Bills and go, oh man, the cornerback room doesn't look great. The defense played good, but then the offense didn't play well. Are the receivers not separating? Every team has flaws. Even in Philadelphia, the reigning Super Bowl champions, the last 3 or 4 weeks, they're like, our offense kind of stinks now. And Jalen Hurts is not playing great football, but we're 4-1. They're not super happy in Philadelphia. The defense hasn't played as well. So that's one thing that, even though I'm here in Western New York, follow the Bills the closest my entire life, but having covered and still covering the entire league, you can look at position groups and coaching mismanagement. It goes on all across the league, and you certainly need to get a bounce here and there. But like you were kind of hinting at, the Bills are probably going to be there because of their quarterback, Josh Allen, who has proven for the last 5 to 7 years that he is an elite quarterback, and in my opinion, the best quarterback in the NFL.
Well, he's the best player I've ever seen play football. So, I mean, that, calling him the best player in the league is, I know, a stretch for a lot of people, but for me, it's like, well, yeah. I mean, currently, like, I want to compare him to, I don't know, Steve Young. Steve Young I like better than Montana. So Montana, but Brady, like, you're in good hands. So every game you walk into, that's the guy in charge of it. So I like my chances because I don't see anyone else that I would compare to him in the league currently. So that helps. That helps keep me sane as a football fan, as a Bills fan. It's you've watched. What have you seen from him? Because he was great immediately. Immediately he was great, but it was in spurts. And it's the maturity and the attention to detail. Like, I think part of what has made him what he is, not part, all of what he has made him this, is that he cares. Like, it's very important to him that his next game is better than his last game, that his next season is better than his last season, and he cares. I don't know. What? This is a terrible way to get into this. What is your opinion of Josh Allen? Like his development, what he's become from what he was, because he was controversial as a pick because he was so raw. But it turns out that if you're a dude that cares, it will manifest itself into good things. And that's kind of how I see him as like he of course, if you just watch him at Wyoming, you're like, yeah, I'd like to watch him play pro football, just not for my team. And then he gets here and then he cares so much that it becomes that like that's the main factor in what he is. I don't have a question, Chris. Just talk.
No, I've never heard that about Josh Allen, the way to describe him and as the linchpin for why he has been so excellent in the NFL as a quarterback. I think it's absolutely astute. It's spot on because to me, the magnitude of how much he cares is greater than his ego. He could have come into the NFL and been like, I'm 6'5", I have a rocket arm. And we've seen like 5 million of these quarterbacks over the last 50 years come into the league that are 6'5", that are big, that have strong arms, and had varying degrees of success at the collegiate level, but they think they've already arrived. Or they have a great rookie season. Then they really think they've arrived and they don't need to get any better. And they just cruise through an off season and that's it. Or by year 3, they make a Pro Bowl or they win a playoff game or two, and then that's it. You're right. From a very specific week to week, like after losing this game to the Patriots, Josh Allen is going to be mad and work extremely hard to fix any time where he left a clean pocket or he missed an open receiver or a throw was a little behind the receiver. He's done that at the granular level and generally throughout his career from offseason to offseason. And you're right. I think that is a key reason that, again, we're talking about him. You're saying he's the best football player you've ever seen. I'm saying he's the best quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
I think that's huge, and again is a huge reason and will be the reason that the Bills will be right there in the end, because every team has flaws and nothing moves the needle more than a quarterback.
He will be in the conversation until he is broken, until he's not this version of him. When he has a knee injury 3 years from now and then comes back and like he's a little slower and he's not quite like that, will hamper him. That said, he's the best from the pocket too, which is a big part of it. So this is going to go on for a long time. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He's going to win. I think he's going to win Super Bowls, plural. But maybe he won't. But it won't change what that guy is. What a game-changing, legacy, league, team-changing, franchise-changing player this guy is. Like, the stadium doesn't exist without him. The new stadium, like, no. I mean, it's insane what we're dealing with here. All right, let's talk about what the hell happened last night to the Chiefs. I'm not trying to giggle when I talk about the Chiefs losing, but here's my experience with last night's game. I was doing other stuff as a father of 3 and all that crap. First thing I knew was Chiefs are up 14-0. And then next thing I knew was everybody went to bed. I went downstairs, turned on the TV, went to watch some like serial killer thing on Netflix or something. I was like, you know what? I should see what's going on in the game. Click it on, and the Jags had just scored to take the lead, and there were 16 seconds left in the game, and I watched that. Nothing happened. And the Jaguars beat the Chiefs, and the Chiefs are now 2-3. And I had written down prior to that, standings don't look good anymore. They look fine with the Chiefs losing that game. Like, everything looks fine because who do we fear as Bills fans? Who do we fear in the conference? And it's the Chiefs and it's the Ravens, and F both of them. Like, they're out. They're not out, but they're not in the same conversation as the Bills. And so we're talking about what, the Colts and the Chargers and the Jaguars. Like, okay, I'm in on that. Like, I don't know. How do you feel about the whole like AFC situation?
Yeah, I mean, it's still a lot of games to go, and I saw a thing which I can't believe this, but I guess this is what Vegas thinks. And even at 1-4, the Ravens are still the betting favorites to win the AFC North because the Browns are 1-4, and I don't think they believe that the Steelers have much staying power at 3-1, and the Bengals are 2-3 without Joe Burrow.
Right.
So I think we have to keep that in mind that it's still a long season,
Yeah.
but 5 games in, what you were just hinting at, the Bills and their fans couldn't have been any happier with, hey, the Bills are going to be 4-1, the Chiefs will be 2-3, and the Ravens will be 1-4. Bengals 2-3 without Joe Burrow. You would have gladly accepted that if you're the Bills organization or a Bills fan. Absolutely. In that game, though, my thing from it was I actually watched it this morning, like the second half. I've been recording it on my YouTube TV because I can't do the staying up until 11:30 midnight. I mean, I'm a dad too. I got to get my kids up in the morning for school. And so I watched it this morning and I instantly go, like after I see what happens, I instantly go to Pro Football Reference and look it up. That was only the second regular season game in the Patrick Mahomes era in which the Chiefs scored a go-ahead either touchdown or field goal with under 4 minutes to go, that then the defense allowed the opposing team to score a game-winning touchdown after it. So we've seen that happen plenty of times in the Josh Allen era where Josh Allen does amazing things and then the defense squanders that late lead. Mahomes has had that luxury, and I think Tom Brady had that a lot too.
Yeah.
For 20 years. But that to me it just felt like, oh yeah, Lawrence is going to throw a pick or he's going to get sacked, and he drove him down the field and they won that football game. So after the Chiefs went 11-0 in one-score games last year, they are now 0-3 in one-score games. So regression to the mean is a real thing, and the Chiefs are feeling it right now.
All right. I'm going to do this. You don't have to participate, but I'm going to say something.
Okay.
Mahomes has been super fun to watch. He's been amazing to watch in that you can't believe he pulls off these plays that he has pulled off for 8 years, whatever. I still don't think he's a great player. He does the stuff and it happens and it has all worked for him. That ain't Josh, man. Like, watching Josh on any play, you can't believe that he's a superhuman. And Mahomes has had some, I'm not trying to knock him. I'm just saying that Josh is a better thing. Like, I believe in what he does 1,000%. And Mahomes are like, whoa, he did it again. That's magical. That's great. I'll loop this in. Montana. You're a little younger than me, just a couple years, but you're a little younger than me. Joe Montana, you can't argue with the results, but I was never blown away by him. Like, he's good. He does some math and hits these guys over the middle easily. Like, it's well-designed play calls. Good job, Bill Walsh. Mahomes is that to me. Oh, my God, he threw it underhand. Yeah, of course he did. Sure. Who cares? Josh Allen is a superhuman, and Mahomes is a person, and they're both going to be in the Hall of Fame. Like, I'm not trying to rip him, but I love that this year, now that Josh has an MVP, the national media has full license to talk about him the way that they would like to talk about him, the way that they've wanted to talk about him for 3-4 years now, as the best friggin' creature that's ever played the game. And that's what he's doing right now. And I'm exaggerating because I love him. I love the team. I'm biased, but he's in the conversation for best people to ever play the sport. Mahomes isn't that. He's super good. He's super cool. He's fun. He does creative things. But there's a difference between what I see in Josh Allen as the best player in the league and Mahomes, who's a super good quarterback.
Well, here's what I would say to that, is that Josh Allen, what he's been able to do with the Bills, and sure, he had Stephon Diggs, who very, very good receiver. They both helped each other a lot in like these formative years for him. But he has not had anywhere close to the supporting cast, both on the sidelines or on the field, to what Patrick Mahomes
Right.
has in Kansas City. Like before Mahomes was there, the Chiefs were winning the AFC West every year with Alex Smith checking the football down on every single play. Andy Reid has like over 100 wins with the Eagles and with the Chiefs. Now, like we know, like he's one of the best coaches ever. Tyreek Hill is a borderline Hall of Famer. He had years with him. Travis Kelce, to some, is one of the best tight ends in NFL history. He's a Hall of Famer. And Steve Spagnuolo came to Kansas City as the guy that was the Tom Brady slayer on defense as a coordinator with the New York Giants for those 2 Super Bowls. So I think I get your point that Mahomes doesn't do like all of the crazy Josh Allen stuff as frequently. And I think Josh Allen is actually just as talented, if not more talented. But I think it's in this era, it is very, and maybe in any sports debate throughout history, it's very easy for people to misconstrue team accomplishments with individual isolated player performance. And I think if you put Josh Allen on these Kansas City Chiefs, if you switch those quarterbacks for the last 8 years, the Chiefs are just as good, if not maybe winning more Super Bowls with Josh Allen and Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce and Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo. I still think Patrick Mahomes on the Bills would be very good, but that's the one thing I'll say, because I think Mahomes is a little better than what you're suggesting, but it's been plain to see throughout his career in Kansas City, the wide open receivers, the yards after the catch, and then specifically, like I mentioned, the defensive stops in key moments. I mean, they won an AFC title game a few years ago where the Ravens couldn't even score the football, and the Bills are, allowing 30 plus points in those playoff losses. So I think individually, and that's why I've been saying this, Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the league. And I don't want to say it's not particularly close, but I think it's been 2 or 3 years now that he has been a better quarterback than Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
It's just that the Chiefs teams have gotten over the hump in the playoffs.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, I think, like, I was slightly offended at some point in there when you were saying that I was, like, it sounded like I was putting down Mahomes. There's no reason to do that. I'm just saying that here's the point. If they started over, the NFL today, they quit, and all the players go back into a pool, and all the 32 teams exist, and there's a draft, and you get to pick whoever you want. Is there any chance that Josh Allen isn't the first pick? And is there any chance that Mahomes would be ahead of Josh Allen? Like, it's for sure. It's 100%. That's the dude. So that's what we have in Buffalo, and that's super fun to watch. And I'll let you answer. It wasn't really a question. I'm bad at interviewing people. I just have conversations. I have conversations.
No,
Chris,
I love it.
And we have to have you back on all the time because this is awesome. But
yeah, I think Josh would be the first pick. He would be the first pick.
Okay. I want you to say that stronger, because it's not I think he would. Who else could possibly be in the conversation?
No, it's him. Josh Allen
100%.
Would be the first pick.
100%.
He would be the first pick.
100%. So, I listen to like Baltimore media people who are still referencing how they think that friggin' Lamar should have been the MVP last year. Like, okay. I'm frustrated by that. What I'm watching is the best thing I've ever seen in sports. My favorite athlete of all time is Dwight Gooden, and I'm about to change that to Josh Allen. Like, I watched it. I loved it. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, and that's what I'm getting weekly out of this guy, even in a loss to the friggin' Patriots.
Yeah, and it's funny too, because I think Bills fans have gotten a little spoiled, and because of the 13-4 record, 12, 13, 14 wins in the regular season every year, multiple playoff wins, obviously a ton of playoff wins in the Josh Allen era, that when they do lose a game, it's of course going to set off this sky is falling fiasco for a lot of people, because they're just not accustomed to seeing many losses. I mean, that was the first loss at home in 13 games, counting the playoffs, tied for a franchise record.
Yeah.
So, and also to be very specific about Josh, he still goes over 300 total yards in that game. And it's not really anything to bet. And I add that it's like, oh yeah, okay, that's fine. Like he's over 275, 300, 325 every single week. And it doesn't seem like it's that much of a challenge for him. He's making what is such a difficult position. You watch the rest of the NFL, there are so many bad quarterbacks out there. He's having a B- performance that would be an A+, the best game of a career for a lot of guys in the NFL.
All right. Drake May. Let's talk about Drake May. I think that's a dude that we're going to have to contend with.
Yes.
Bad news for him is he's got Josh Allen in his prime for the first 8 years of his career. So that's an issue. But there's no question to me that the first problem in the AFC East that has presented itself in the last 5 years is Drake May and the Pats. They're coming, and Vrabel too. That's gonna be a real team. The Jets and Dolphins are lost. They're just out in the ocean. They're gone. They don't matter to me at all over the course of Allen's career. Maybe something crazy changes, but F them. They're out. So now I'm thinking about the Pats, and they're the clear number 2. And I don't think they're close to 1, but they're for sure the team that we're looking at now, right?
100%. And I think it starts at the top, just like it does with the Bills. You got to start at quarterback and head coach, GM as well,
owner,
and
even.
Yeah, sure. And I think Drake May has a lot of high caliber traits. He's big. He's got a strong arm. He can move around a little. And Mike Vrabel, I mean, he was taking some Tennessee Titans teams that had Derrick Henry and A.J. Brown, but not a ton else, resurrecting the career of Ryan Tannehill. And those were just pesky teams that were in a lot of football games in Tennessee. So I think they are clearly the second best team in the AFC East. And you're right that the Dolphins and the Jets are just floundering. I have no idea what they're going to do. And it's not like they're an upstart team with young quarterbacks and now maybe in a couple years, they both have to, I think, hit the reset button now, and then it's going to take 2 to 3 years before they even will have a chance to kind of jump into that category that the Patriots are in now.
Yeah. And the thing, all right, back to May. What I don't want to root for a Patriots quarterback. I'm not going to root for him, but I like a guy that plays the way that he plays. And I had my buddy on from Boston yesterday, and I compared him a little bit to Josh. And I don't compare people to Josh. Josh is one of one, and May is mini Josh. I mean, the stuff he did the other day, he didn't have a perfect game, but he just is a player that hangs and does the stuff that Josh does. And, that's I wish he was just in the NFC. I wish he was playing for the Seahawks and I could just root for him because I would love to watch him when the Bills aren't playing. I'm going to watch this other mini Josh, but I see some Josh in that guy, which is fun.
Yeah, for sure. I'll put a cap on this by saying I was listening to your buddy Jeremy White Monday morning, and it's weird for me that I almost like to tune in to any sport, local sports radio, the day after a loss. And again, there's not many in the regular season because I want to see how the radio guys frame it. Is the sky falling? Keep it in perspective. And I thought Joe and Jeremy did a great job with it. Jeremy mentioned that he saw someone on Twitter say, "Oh, that's what it looks like what Josh does to other teams. The Bills are not used to having those ridiculous plays at the quarterback position happen to them. That's what how other fan bases feel." The tweet was something like, "Oh, that's how other teams feel when Josh does it to them." And it's usually every week Josh doing that. And I thought that was absolutely perfect.
That's so good. That's exactly right. And it's why I'm watching. So I've got a wife and 3 kids. And we're all the oldest wasn't watching because he just wants to play guitar. But me, my wife, 2 kids watching, and they're all getting mad at Drake May. And I was just like, do you not see what you're seeing? Like, this is what we like about football. This is what has made all of us love the Bills again. And it like, this is what the guy, like, yes, I'm in on that. So I don't like that it's the Patriots just because of, 20 years of losing to them. But if that guy was on the friggin' Chargers or the Seahawks or I don't know, some NFC, the Saints. If that guy was on the Saints would be my second favorite football team, because he's doing all the stuff that is super fun. And that was the comparison. You're a draft guy. What was the breakdown on Drake May when he came out? It was like, well, upside is he's just like Josh Allen, but we all know that there's no just like Josh Allen. But I think that's what they were going for, and I think they might have hit on it.
Yeah, that was the idea 2 years ago, that he was clearly not the next Josh Allen, but the closest thing that we've seen in terms of, like I said, size, arm strength, and then the ability, like he did on that final drive, to like have a defender hanging on him and getting a ball out to a receiver to keep a drive going and not take a sack. Like, he can give you those glimmers of Josh Allen at times. When Josh can do it on any drive, Drake May can sprinkle it throughout a game. And again, I said it at the beginning of this interview, Josh going over 300 yards, Josh rolling left and making a great throw, rolling right, dicing from in the pocket, like you mentioned. He makes it look effortless. And I think that is why I mentioned earlier that I think, Bills fans can get a little spoiled when the team isn't scoring a touchdown on every drive. It's like, oh my God, what's happening? Why is this offense not scoring 40 points a game? Because Josh makes it look so easy. There are times that Drake May can make playing the hardest position in sports look relatively easy. So I think, again, encapsulating this, the Patriots, I don't want to say they've arrived. They're here. They're a Super Bowl contender. But I think those Bills-Patriots games will really be the one truly competitive game for the Bills over the next year or so within the division.
They're ahead of the Jets and the Dolphins for sure.
Oh my gosh.
Clearly. And it's because of that guy. And Vrabel, too. Mm-hmm. Like, they have a there's a team in the division that has a coach and a quarterback, and that's something to fear. But you're still the king. Just hang out. Do your thing, Bills. You're fine. But that's what you have to worry about. They're next. So, keep an eye on it. But good news is it's not like Josh is in his 14th year. Eight seems like a big number, but he's still, he's getting better. He's improving every week. So it's fine. But that's who's next. So no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to ask you, Chris Trapasso, what is, every now and then I'm in the car and then you're just on my radio. So what's your deal with One Bills Live, and like how often you're in there, and what's the situation? Because I enjoy hearing you always.
Oh, thank you.
And I like that I don't even have to call you sometimes to talk to you. It's just you're on.
So I am like the main, I'm going to call myself the practice squad call up.
Nice.
So if the show is obviously normally Chris Brown and Steve Tasker, Matty Glab, obviously a Bills employee, does so much for that organization on the media side. If any combination, if like Steve is at a wedding over and he's got to leave on a Friday, and then Maddie's doing something or she already took that day off, then their producer Jay Harris will give me a call, and I'll go on. So it's been a really fun thing the last 4 years to be on that Bills show. It's on MSG, it's on WGR and the Fan in Rochester, and it's just fun to like get to know Steve Tasker. He's a great guy. He's still super passionate about football and the team, and Chris and Maddie, everyone over there with the Bills, with that show has been great. And something too that I'll say now on the air is that not once has anyone there with that show said, hey, you can't say this. You can't criticize Gabe Davis. You can't say that the play calling, like they want the show. I mean, it's a Bills show, but they want it to be as objective and give fans the legitimate analysis more so than anything else, and I really respect them for that.
That's awesome. That awesome that you just said that. I have felt that because I know all of the. I don't know Maddie, but I Chris Brown I went to school with, Tasker I've known forever. You I've known for a long time. And it's just my friends are talking on the radio about the team that I love, so it's cool. Aside from Maddie, who I've got, I don't know her. I'm not gonna say anything good or bad about her, but like it's just my friends talking, and you all seem honest, and it's good to hear that what you're saying is true. That because that's a problem in America, really.
Oh, for
sure,
for sure it is.
Media being blended with. I have that written down as a thing to talk about today too. Just media being blended. Here's what I said: real media trying to keep up with social media, some of which is trying to inform, some just creating chaos. I have that written down in my notes. For the first, I was going to do that. I was going to talk about Mark Sanchez and that, and instead I did not at all. I talked about. I don't know what I started with. Getting a car fixed. I started with that, and then I called you, and now it's 11:21. So whatever. But yes, that's massive. It's honest conversation. I mean, that's a big deal. Like, you have to think about this all the time. Now I'm going to get a little social and political, but when you hear someone say something, you have to think about what's behind it.
Yeah, for sure.
And you saying that is like nothing is behind it. I'm talking about the football team that I'm watching. And that's all I want. That's all I want is people saying the things they think without being controlled by people. So that is awesome as well. So awesome.
Yeah, and it's been it was real. I mean, do they want me to go on like 3 years ago and say, scream into the camera that I think Gabe Davis needs to be cut right now? He's the worst player in the NFL.
No.
Probably not, but I have said to them a few times, to their producer, Jay Harris, like, hey, like, Gabe Davis doesn't have a catch in the last 4 games and the Bills are 2-2. We got to talk about that, and it's not going to be pretty. He's like, no, he goes, that's completely fair. We want the show to be fair to our fans. And when the Bills are winning 9 in a row, let's praise them. And when they have some struggles, let's get to the bottom of what those struggles are, point them out, and say and talk about how we think they can get better.
Well, it's not that different from I've been doing UB football stuff for, 17 years, something like that. And there are things that we say off microphone, and then eventually it bubbles to a point where you have to say it on the microphone.
Yes,
it's just,
great point.
It's like I know where the line is, and where that's what being a pro is. You know what the line is. We're not ranting and raving like social media, and that was kind of the point of the thing I wrote down that I never talked about. But like, we're not crazy. We're just paying attention, and we're going to say the stuff that has to be said. So you're right. Gabe Davis doesn't catch a pass for a week. You're not bringing that up and bashing him. And then the second week, you're not bringing it up. And then the third week, you're like, hey, this is starting to become a thing. And then the fourth week, you have to talk to Jay Harris and be like, I might have to bring this up. And he's like, yeah, obviously. But that's the difference between the past, where media was vetted, and now where it's social media and anyone can say anything always. So you have to, you kind of have to race to say that we're using Gabe Davis like he did something. But like,
yeah, he's catching a stray today when he's on the practice squad now. But.
It's fine. But you have to think about him when you're saying, like, I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it. I have to say it. I have to say it now because 1 million people are saying it online, or 2 people said it online and it got retweeted and all this crap. Like, it's weird, man. Even you're younger than me. You're newer to like media than I am, but the difference between when you got in and where we are now is massive.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Way different. And honestly, for as much as I have been super grateful to be able to be this main fill-in person on this One Bills Live, and I started in the summer of 2021, if 3 shows in, they were like, oh, you can't really criticize this right tackle. Like, we're not going to bring that up, that he's been the worst tackle in the NFL. Then I would have been – it would have been a challenge for me to continue doing it because I don't want to be that person.
It's crippling to have something like that happen.
and they've never done it. Now, I will say I'm not painting myself in to be the saint. It's been reasonably easy to talk about the Bills the last 5 years on a Bills produced show because they have been one of the best teams in the NFL. But there have been especially off-season shows where I've gone in and said, like, hey, the Bills need to address this. This position has not been great. And they're like, yeah, go ahead, say it. If that's what you think and you can back it up, then we want you to say it because, again, I think with the Bills, at least in that media department, they understand, like, this is one of the most fervent fan bases in the NFL. They're a very smart fan base that has learned so much and is super plugged into this team now. We want to give them the best analysis possible to not just be like a propaganda show for this team.
That's awesome. I remember this is going to be I'll tell the story, whatever. It's my show. I can just do whatever. I remember Jerry Sullivan, he had a friend, I want to say Jeff Hobson might be the name. Do you know that name, Chris?
That's Cincinnati guy.
Okay, yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
He was one of the first dudes that did kind of what Chris Brown did, which was like, I'm a reporter, but now I work for the team. And it was very confusing.
I remember that.
From a journalism perspective, where, you and I are both kind of raised on, like, I'm here to tell the story. And then you start getting paid by the team to tell the story, and that gets weird.
That's happened now the last 10 years with some other guys.
Yeah, it's happened with it's what we're talking about with you. It's like you're a reporter, but the Bills pay you, so now you're reporting, but you're for the Bill, and it's interesting to me, and all of that. I think that might be the most interesting story in the whole world, not from a sports perspective, but like politically, like all of it. It's just like, who is paying the person that is saying the thing that I'm supposed to believe? And it's very weird. So cycling back around, the thing that you said about, like, no, we don't have to, we can cover it the way we want to cover it, is amazing. But you also know the line, like I do, where we're not going to share secrets when I'm doing UB stuff. There are always things I know that I can't say.
Yep.
It's always there, but you can still do it with some degree of truth, not some degree, mostly true. I don't know what my point is. I'm just saying I appreciate what you said about doing One Bills Live and being allowed to talk like you want to talk, because you won't say anything that's going to get you thrown out of the building. You understand what's going on, but you have freedom to do what you want to do, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's been cool, and honestly, to put a cap on this, I would say, I would feel useless if I was just a guy on camera just heaping praise on the Bills and ignoring when they have problems. I want to go on there and actually, what I'm saying is actually of use to people, and they're either learning something or it's entertaining. I don't want to just go on there and be like, hey, here's the state-run news what would be the use of me? They could get anyone to just read off, oh, Josh Allen has done this and the defense has done this, when there have been little issues. And certainly this week a lot of Bills fans are wondering, what issues do they have, how can they get better here and here. If I was on the show this week, we would definitely talk about it, and I'm sure Chris and Steve will mention it throughout the week on One Bills Live, because they really have, I think, a lot of integrity that, like you pointed out, has kind of gone by the wayside in a lot of media entities over the last 10 or so years.
Yeah. I mean, Chris Brown has the most integrity of a person of anyone I know. I absolutely worship.
You went to college with him?
I did. Yeah. I worship what he did, what he has done and what he does. He is such a friggin' pro. I could do an hour on my Chris Brown, what do you call that? Origin story. Everything I know about him. Yes, I did go to college with him. I didn't know him super well, but he was a soccer player. I was in a fraternity, and I had a couple guys in my fraternity that were also soccer players, so we became very friendly with the soccer team, and so I knew him pretty well. but we had different lives. He was a focused student. I was an alcoholic. Like I hung out. You know what I mean? Like I was like party guy, and he wasn't out a lot, but I knew his friends that lived with him. Yeah, whatever. It's a whole story.
He's become a true pro for sure, and
he
and
was
doing
a pro
so
then.
much.
He was a pro at being a college student. He's a better person than I am. Like he's locked in. Like he's awesome. He's the best. Everyone that I know that knows him loves him. Like he is the best. If you ever get a chance to talk to him off air, or even better on air, about he's got a fishing story where he had like 2 beers once and he just went off. It was awesome. Like we were all out. It's all the people that have 6 beers every day, and it was Chris Brown having 2 beers that day for the first time in a year or whatever. And he asked him about the fishing story where there were fish on the what do you call the chain that hangs. They had him on the thing, and then turtles were coming in, and then it was him and his dad with oars. Like, just get him to tell that story on the air, and you will have done the best thing you've ever done for One Bills Live. If you're ever on with him, do you ever fill in for Steve?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. I mean,
yeah.
it
All
can be for like whoever.
Yeah, you said that. You fill in for any of the 3. If you fill in for Steve, just be like, "Hey, Chris, have you ever been fishing in a rowboat?" And then he'll just tell this. If it works, he'll tell.
That's the spark that I got to say.
He'll tell the greatest story that's ever happened. Just say fishing, turtle, or. Like, those are the 3 keywords, I think. Fishing, turtle, or. It's the most animated I've ever seen Chris Brown, and he had a beer and a half or something, but he just gets lit up with a beer or 2. So even sober, I think he would get into that story, and I appreciate it. So, all right, I'm going to let you go. Chris Trapasso, thank you so much for coming on super short notice. Shortest notice of any guest in Writer Radio history here on episode 182. We've had you on, I would guess this is 4 or 5 times.
4 or 5, and I've loved every single time I've been on. It's always great talking with you back to the trending Buffalo days.
Is this the best one?
Yes, I agree. Yeah. I think we're getting better and better.
Yeah, so let's keep doing it. Do you have stuff to plug? What would you like to say that you do?
Just for the time being, just TikTok and YouTube. I know it's kind of for the younger crowd, but I'm assuming this show has a very wide audience, age range wise. TikTok and YouTube to just follow. Again, I'm trying to stay plugged into the entire league as I'm looking for another writing job. You'll see they're quick. They're a minute to a minute 30 film where I'm pointing out things that I've noticed with the Bills, with other teams, with receivers, trends around the league on TikTok and on YouTube.
All right. I'm going to say this about the YouTube is not younger crowd. That's everyone.
That's true.
TikTok, however, like last night, I got sent a link. Like, it's my buddy Steve, who lives in Syracuse, who I'm sure whatever he sent me would be great. But it was a TikTok link, and I had to install TikTok to watch the link to the. I was just like, nah,
that's too much.
Fine.
I get it.
I mean, it might be the greatest thing that's ever been sent, but as a 50-year-old man, I'm not putting TikTok on my phone. I'm just not doing it.
You don't seem like you're 50. You seem like forever young to me.
Thanks, man. How old would you? Where would you peg me? Like 42?
I was going to say early 40s. I think you're just perpetually 42.
Okay. 42 sounds good.
Will you take it?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, God. Yeah. No, 50 seems crazy to me, but I suddenly have like a teenager, and I have,
So that's like the reality hitting.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get that I'm old, and then we go to Little League games, and I'm clearly 10 years older than most of the parents. Like, it's just, I don't know, whatever. I didn't have kids till I was 36, which I think,
that's why.
I think that makes sense. Like,
it does.
36 sounds old if you're doing it wrong, but like looking back on it, 36 was the right time to have a kid. And so I've got him, but then I've got another one, and then I've got another one. So it's like, holy crap, I'm like in a delivery room at 42. Like that's not. It didn't seem great, but what's the difference? Like I don't know. It makes sense to me. It all makes sense to
Yeah,
me. All right,
that works out.
Chris, you're coming on more. I like
Let's do it.
as easy as it was to get you on today. You're screwed because you made it too easy for me. So now you're gonna come on more and like we've had
No,
you.
I love talking here with you. So yeah, anytime, and even if it's last minute, unless I'm literally doing something else,
Unless
like
you're
with my
busy.
kids or whatever, then yeah, then I'll just hop on last second
Yeah.
and we can talk NFL and talk Bills.
How many kids do you have?
2 girls, 8 and 6.
8 and 6. All right. I've got third. Well,
You have
whatever.
3 boys, right?
I have 3 boys. Let's call it 12, 10, 8. So my oldest and my youngest and your oldest are parallel.
Same
So,
age.
and how
There
old
you
are
go.
you?
I'm 37.
You're 37.
So I had kids at 29 and 31. So I was getting up there in age, and I was, but
No.
I mean, I wasn't 42. I mean, I'm not 42 yet, and so I can't say I'm going to be 42 in the delivery room. But I think, I mean, everyone has their own journey, and I think for you, like it was probably perfect.
Well, the best part is marry someone 6 years younger. So like,
Ah,
you know, super,
okay,
super,
okay.
super fertile and all that stuff. You know, we all that's covered, and you can just be a little, be the old dad. You go. I remember talking to Ray Walter, who's our good friend and is a Supreme Court justice in New York State. I'm like, she was pregnant with the first one, and he's like, you know what, you'll be fine, but you're definitely the old dad. Like you're gonna be at sports things and be old. And I forget that. So like everybody I talk to at all the like little league games, I'm 10 years older than all the dads. All
I
of them.
think,
But I
think
forget.
for you, there's so much opportunity, especially as I know you're a music buff and
Yeah.
you're certainly a sports buff, that you can drop so much knowledge on these people to be like, hey, actually, you've heard of that guy, Joe Montana? I actually think Steve Young was a better quarterback. And
Yeah.
you can just go off on
Yeah.
that for an hour while you're watching Little League practice.
Yeah, which makes me either awesome or super annoying and old. So, whatever. Bottom line is, Chris, we're having you on the show more than just now.
Cool.
So, thanks, man.
All right. Sounds good, Brad.
All right.
Thanks.
Talk to you, Chris.
Peace.
Thanks. Chris Trapasso. Find him on TikTok and YouTube. Find him here more. I got to talk to Chris off the air about more Chris because, Jesus, that dude is the best. He's so good. He was a part of the Trending Buffalo podcast when we were starting that. When was that? 13 years ago. He was a part of that. He was just like an up-and-coming guy, and he was writing for CBS. And, the media world is a disaster, the sports media world. So he's not, being paid by CBS anymore. But, Jesus, man, what a good dude. So we'll have him on a lot. We'll get back to it. All right. It's Writer Radio. So the reason you listened to that last song for the last couple minutes was because I was not ready for the other song to end. And I just, like, if I was 10 seconds more prepared, you wouldn't have heard that song. I would have just been on. We'd be fine. But, I mean, we're almost done with the show anyway. But now I'm going to look at the stuff that I have written down. Also, I have 1,000 text messages received in the last 2 hours, I guess. I mean, I haven't looked at my phone. Aside from calling Chris or texting Chris or whatever. Chris Trapasso, amazing guest. Super good. Aside from that, I haven't looked at my phone. And every message I have, it's like, oh, that person I haven't talked to in a year. Oh, that person I haven't talked to in a month. Oh, that person. And it's all about our basketball registration opened. I was going to say I work for Southline. I don't work there, but I volunteer. I'm on the board at a youth sports thing called Southline Athletic Association. We have a baseball league, and we have a basketball league, and we have travel baseball teams. And we opened registration today, except something went wrong, apparently. I don't have time to find out. I'll figure it out. I texted back. Those of you don't even know. The people texting me and the people listening are very, very different, I think. From 10 o'clock on, I guess registration for basketball opened at 10 and something went wrong. And so since 10 o'clock, which is exactly the time I'm not looking at my phone because I'm talking to you, stuff's been going down and people are fired up. And so I have I don't know, 80 text messages. It's a lot. I have a lot of messages. Brad, what's going on? And during the song, it was during the first BC Boys song there, I was just texting people back like, I don't know, I'll talk to you after 12. I don't know, I'm sorry. I'll talk to you after 12. I didn't do it. Not my problem. I didn't cause it, but I'll fix it. That's what I do. I fix things. But it just kept going and going and going, and it continues to go. They're still coming in. It's a lot of messages about something that's wrong with registration. But if you have a child who is between the ages of 7 and 15 who would like to play basketball, hurry up right now and go to playsouthline.com and register. My kids are in, so I'm not worried. But it's going to fill up in, somewhere between 24 and 48 hours. It's going to fill up the registration for basketball because it's limited time and space and, gym. Like, you can't just, it's not like baseball where you just play baseball anywhere. You need a court and you need a roof, really. And we've got that. But we have like 8 hours a day to play basketball. 8 hours a week, really, but in one day. Like, we play Sundays from 10 a.m. till 6 p.m. or something like that. And it fills up immediately, which is why the panic is. People are very, very, very mad at me right now because I haven't replied to their text messages. I know they are. Like, I have new enemies now for you, just to hang out with you, just to talk to you, talk to Trapasso about the Bills and Allen and his life, and that's people are mad at me. I'm trying to please you, man. I'm trying, but I don't know. I can't do everything at the same time. So when this show ends in a couple minutes, I'm going to have to reply to a lot of people about basketball. I love basketball. All right. Back to the sheet. I did the car repair thing. MLB standings, or NFL standings, excuse me. Nothing on playoffs. Nothing on Paul Peck looking like touchdown Jesus. That's going to be a thing at some point on the show, maybe tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow. So it was Paul Peck's birthday on Saturday. And he's the play-by-play guy, has been forever for UB football. And they made a big deal out of it, including between the first and second quarters, they pointed a camera at our booth. And Paul's in the front. Paul and Scott are in the front. So this is hard with the camera. All right. Paul, Scott. No. Never mind. I can't figure out the camera. It's reversed because it's correct. Like, it's showing things not reversed. So right and left are weird. Doesn't matter. Very few of you are watching this right now. So mostly people listen afterward. Between the first and second quarters, and I knew this in advance, and I was in charge. This was like the surprise party for Paul, is that they were going to put him on camera. And either they were going to have a camera right in front of the booth, or they were going to bring a camera into our booth. So we're in this tiny little room where it's me, Scott, and Paul. That's the whole room. They were going to do that. And what they ended up doing was putting a camera right in front of the booth and focusing on Paul. And they did like a little, I don't know, 18-second tribute to Paul. Just a few of his calls, bullseye, whatever he does. He says bullseye a lot. So it was like that. And then they were like, happy birthday to Paul Peck. And it was homecoming, and it was crowded. There were a lot of people there, children. By children, I mean students, but like the players are also children. But it was just a lot of people. Nobody dislikes Paul Peck. You could not care about him. You could enjoy him mildly. There's no way to dislike Paul. So what they do is they announce, hey, you guys know about Paul? And everybody's like, yeah, I know Paul. I know Paul. Hey, it's his birthday. Everyone stands. It's like, whatever. Everybody stood up. It was a full-on standing ovation almost for Paul. And so they're showing him, and they put the camera in the booth. Or not in the booth, excuse me. In front of the booth. So they put it on Paul. So Scott Wilson, he's just like this. He does things like this. Scott Wilson sent me a screenshot of some part of the, let's say Paul was on screen, on camera, on the Jumbotron. That's not the right word, but the video board for 30 seconds. For 5 of those seconds, he was standing with his arms out like this. He's like, ah, like he did the, oh my God, I can't believe, like, all right, picture this. You're you, and out of nowhere, there's a camera in your face in front of 20,000 people. What are you doing? And Paul tried all of the things. And the picture that we have that Scott screen captured or whatever is Paul looking exactly like touchdown Jesus at Notre Dame. Now, if you're unfamiliar with that, I'll walk you through it real quick. There's a like cathedral at the end, like the end zone of one where you would see a scoreboard in other stadiums. There's a cathedral, but it's the back end with the big tower thing is stained glass, and it's Jesus, but he's got his arms out like he's calling a touchdown. So they call it Touchdown Jesus. Peck absolutely accidentally became Touchdown Jesus, but like Bullseye Jesus. Like he's obviously not a Notre Dame guy. He's a UB guy. And Scott found that in the video, like rewatching the game on TV. They must have shown it on TV. He sent a picture of that. Now, I've been trying to use AI to convert Paul Peck, to merge Paul Peck and Touchdown Jesus, which is a mosaic. Is that the right word? But a stained glass thing. They made the same arm motion. So I tried to do it, and I got a couple that were pretty close. And then I ran out of time, had to do other stuff, had to deal with the stupid car van repair thing. We'll get it. But the overall point is that Paul Peck absolutely 100% replicated Touchdown Jesus while in the booth during UB's overtime victory over Eastern Michigan this week. That made them 3-3 heading into next week. And by next, I mean next week's game at UMass. We're going on the road again. We haven't done that in a while. All right. On my sheet of things to talk about. Oh, Mark Sanchez. Okay. This could take a while. any of you who have been listening to the show, I mean, we're at episode 182. So that's a lot. But if you listened early, one of the overall themes when I was doing it on the radio was don't believe anyone about anything. And then, like, the secondary part of that was just wait a day. If you don't like a story, just take a breath, take a nap, have a drink, whatever, and wait a day and see where that story goes. Because we're in a world where real media is trying to compete with social media. So you got to be fast and quick. And it all seems like facts, but it ain't. It ain't that. It's just, hey, we got a thing we feel like we have to say, and we're going to say it fast. So it's worth, as a consumer of media, it's worth just remembering to breathe and think. Like, take a breath. A couple days ago, Mark Sanchez, former Jets quarterback, former USC quarterback, current Fox announcer, he's a whatever player. He's whatever. It doesn't matter. But a name people know pretty well because he played at USC and he played in LA and New York. So, as a quarterback. And went to 2 AFC title games. So, yeah, we know him. And suddenly there was news that he had been stabbed. And we were like, oh my God, that sucks for Mark Sanchez, who we like because we know him. I mean, I'm not going to do all of it, but read the story now. He's facing felony charges. I don't know exactly what to say here. He was in a fist fight that ended up being a knife fight with a 69-year-old delivery driver at 12:30 a.m. outside the hotel that he was staying in to call the game in Indianapolis. And initially the story was, oh no, Mark Sanchez was stabbed. And then eventually the story is, oh no, Mark Sanchez was beating a 69-year-old man to the point where it's a felony and got stabbed to stop him. So I don't know the story. I'm just going back to the thing that I used to say all the time on the radio, mostly about like Trump related stuff, but like just wait a day on the story. Just wait a day. Just wait. Like, you're going to hear it. You're going to be like, oh my God, this is what I think. Hold that in. Wait another day. Hear the later version of the story. Then form the opinion. Because this was Mark Sanchez got stabbed 3 days ago or 2 days, whatever it was. And then you get a little further from that, and it's like, got stabbed to stop him from physically destroying a 69-year-old delivery truck driver who was backed into a spot at a loading dock at a hotel in Indianapolis while Mark was drunk. Like, I'm still not ready to, like, blame it on him. It's just another reminder that, Jesus, wait. Just wait. The info you get immediately is wrong. So just hang out, chill out. You'll be fine. We'll all be fine. Car repair, NFL standings. MLB playoffs we didn't do. We'll do that tomorrow. Pack equals touchdown Jesus. Grace 2. We'll talk about Grace 2 tomorrow. Grace 2 is among my favorite hip songs, but also voted number one in the thing that we've talked about a bunch, the TTH Top 40 countdown thing. So I'm going to play that if I can find it. There it is. I'm going to play that. I'm done for today. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks to Chris Trapasso for jumping in today. He was awesome. And we'll be back on today's what? Tuesday? All right. See you Wednesday. Episode 182 in the books. Talk to you soon.
What are you doing for lunch?
I don't know. I have a turkey sandwich.
We're gonna go around the corner. I think you should come with us. This is a great place.
I don't know. Okay.
We brought you a shirt.
Will you get out of here? Will you get out of here? Will you? Now, will you go to lunch? Go to lunch. Will you go to lunch?